Propaganda can be any form of media that provokes an emotional response. The most effective propaganda effect the Soviets came up with is the juxtaposing effect from montage. This technique allowed Soviet films to subtly ingrain powerful political messages in the public. This may seem insignificant because nearly every film compiles shots. However, Soviet montage adds an extra layer to the relationships between shots. Most notably, Sergei Eisenstein implements 5 techniques to illustrate his theory of montage as a historical dialect. Sergei found that Soviet ideals such as glorifying communism, celebrating revolution, encouraging loyalty, and promoting anti-Western narratives could be encapsulated by the Kuleshov effect. The theory of the Kuleshov effect is how the meaning of a shot could be modified by its surrounding shots. Eisenstein's most famous work, Battleship Potemkin, includes each of his 5 methods to great effect.
The metric form of editing can achieve a wide range of effects that create a tempo. Metric editing compiles shots of the same length, irrespective of what actions are taking place. This is often the most simple form of editing and is guided by musical rhythms. Rhythmic montage creates a sense of movement following movement in the scene. The movement and action in frame is consistent with the editing. Tonal montage is more abstract and is based on the dominant emotional tone of the scene. The juxtaposing effect from cuts should combine the emotions of both shots to expand upon the emotions of the individual shots. Overtonal montage is concerned with the tone of the whole piece, rather than the individual value of the shots. Overtonal editing can create an effect that is larger than either of the 2 shots juxtaposed when they stand alone. This can be interpreted as even more abstract editing than tonal montage. Intellectual montage creates an entirely new meaning when the shots are combined. It involves an effect that was never present in either of the original shots. This form of montage should provoke some sort of intellectual activity to the audience.
Widely regarded as one of the most harrowing and moving scenes ever committed to film, Sergei Eisenstein's almost 7-minute Odessa Steps scene involves some of the earliest, however undeniably brilliant uses of montage. Incorporating not one, but all 5 methods of montage in one sequence, Eisenstein exhibits the horrifying events in rapid succession in such a manner that it evokes fear within the audience itself. It goes without saying that this is purposeful, and very much achieves its purpose at that. Let's delve closer into the Odessa Steps and examine how certain methods of montage play a critical role in this powerful ensemble of images. Metric. As mentioned earlier, metric montage was used to depict brutality and violence from Tsarist soldiers upon civilian victims. However, it is very much also used to instill a sense of panic and urgency in the audience. In the same sense, the scene length begins to shorten as the scene reaches its emotional climax, perhaps signifying the rapid pace at which the violence proceeded and concluded. Rhythmic. At the same time, rhythmic montage is used to give the montage brutal continuity. As the faceless soldiers march from the top of the steps, their imposing presence is displayed by the resulting reaction from the crowd. Toward the end of the scene, however, we witness a mother and child being shot by soldiers. It is at this point that the music ceases, and we are given a sense of finality, as the scene symbolically ends with the Cossacks. Intellectual. On another note, the end of the Odessa Steps sequence presents a strong symbolic shot of the battleship's cannons firing 3 shots into a sleeping lion, a waking lion, and a lion already risen. Eisenstein arranges the shots in such a manner that it can represent the conflict at the time and its resolution, with the revolution ultimately failing. Now let's look at a more modern take on montage. Let's look at Trainspotting. The opening sequence of Trainspotting includes one of the more memorable montages in recent history through Ewan McGregor's Choose Life monologue. As the audience is introduced to each character, we can see the personalities of each main character through the montage, symbolically displayed through various actions. Particularly, Ewan McGregor's character Renton gets hit by a car and subsequently laughs it off as if his life is just a joke. Danny Boyle also indirectly introduces us to the other characters of the film through the way they play football. Fine display of tonal montage also comes when Renton is hit in the head by a football and knocked backward, which is juxtaposed with himself falling backward from getting high. This contrast is also highlighted by Renton saying, "Choose life, and why would I want to do a thing like that?"